Hey, this is Max. I am back with another CSR2 video. So, tomorrow we're going to have the beginning of the Agera RS Gold Cup. This was switched from the Fenrir Gold Cup to Agera last minute, which means we just basically had back-to-back Gold Cups with Koenigsegg. I don't know how your fusion status looks, but these fusions for this car does not come easily, nor do the stage sixes. So I am sure this is going to cost a bunch of people quite a bit of resources that they have. I have here, from with the help of the mysterious stranger, a nice blue Agera RS. This is a beautiful color, actually. I really like it. I wish I had this one, but I don't mind the black either. Both are very nice cars. So what exactly are we facing here tomorrow as the cup starts? Well, let me tell you what this car is good at and what it's not. This is a very fast car. In fact, one of the top fastest yellow star cars that you could possibly get when fully maxed. Even at full stage 5 only, without fine tuning and just basically trying to get it as high an evo as I can squeeze out of it, which seems to be about um, 1569 with the current settings, you can do a 9.490 from just stage 5 with full fusion. That's very impressive. It's very fast. It's not quite fast enough to beat Tempest 3 without stage 6s. The only car I know of that can do that is the Ferrari FXXK, which comes in at 8.9 with full stage 5. However, this car at this stage already can meet every single challenge as far as the highest PP rating with regard to both the 0 to 60, 0 to 100, and the mile per hour. This is a very fast car. 1.597 0 to 100 is very impressive, and at the same time, it still does 260 miles per hour. So, good car at stage 5, quite capable of taking on the challenges, minus the final time of the boss, which is a 9.0 something, if I remember correctly, close to 9.1. So you want at least an 8.9 car uh, when it comes to taking on that challenge. What the good news is, in addition to simply being Tempest 3 ready, this car will also easily accomplish what I believe are going to be the challenges during the Gold Cup for sprints and mile per hour, because it already does it very well. Very little fine tuning will be needed. Simple adjustment of nitrous usage probably will get you through most of the challenges. However, this car is also very fusion dependent. The turbo fusions on this car can give up to 30 plus evo per fusion. That's very important to note, because if you take out the fusion, you may lose 30 plus points in the actual evo points that you have. So I don't have this fitted, so it doesn't show it, but let me fit it here. 19 for this fusion. This is a fully tuned situation. I can tell you some of these guys were pulling in about 30 points when I was adding them. So that is a big deal. That could affect how that car will react to the stage sixes. Mind you, having stage 6 fitted doesn't mean automatically the car's going to run a ton faster. It will be faster. The fusions also makes a big difference. Well, how much difference? Let's put it this way. Stage 6 nitrous is the big one for this, but since I already put turbo in, let's look at turbo first. Turbo, once installed, tweaks the numbers slightly for you. You probably can squeeze out a few more points by adjusting the final gear. So it's looking like we're squeezing out a few more than expected here. Not totally super high numbers, but a decent amount. So from 9.49, we are dropping to a 9.28. That's about a 2/10 drop. That's not bad at all. It's actually pretty good considering it's just a turbo. But also remember, this car's ultimate time is a 7.53 on the dyno from a 9.4. So you're talking almost 2 seconds difference here. So something has to make up that difference. That means even a weak stage 6 like turbo will drop off 2/10. What about a stronger stage 6? Well, let's take a look at something that's a little bit better, which is right next to it, engine. Engine, in this case, actually gives a decent amount of changes. What you can tell is both the PP and the Evo went up quite a bit. That usually is a good sign. It bodes well for the performance change to the car. Again, we probably want to play with the dyno a little bit to see if we can squeeze out as much points as possible. 1638 Evo, 705 pp, 9.187. So now this is a 3/10 drop as compared to a 2/10 and 3/1000 drop for turbo. So this is a tenth better than turbo. That's not bad. It's not great, but certainly engine is not a terrible stage 6. So moving towards the left, we're going to be coming up on transmission. Let's see what trans does for this car. This also brings us to the thought, well, what exactly am I going to be facing when I run this Gold Cup? My guess, and this is a wild guess based on previous Golden Cups we've seen, is that it's not going to be too easy, but it shouldn't be super, super hard unless the car is very old and has a lot of parts. This car was a milestone car, but it wasn't that old, nor does it have that many parts. So maybe it won't be that great as far as, a change from max time to the Golden Cup time. But knowing what I know and based on what I've seen, I would say a good estimated target time for you to probably going to need to hit would be somewhere around 8.3 to 8.2. Maybe 8.4 to 8.5 if the developers are feeling generous about giving you an easier cup. And there's a reason why I estimate that. Right now, we haven't seen any stage 6 drop you under 9 yet. Meaning if you're going to get hit 8.2, it's going to be pretty difficult, right? Transmission also does a little bit around 210, so it's about even with turbo. I had thought it would do better. I almost swore the transmission was better. I probably remembered it wrong, but trans did not do as much as I had hoped. Let's take a look at tire and see if that's any better. Now, if you have a few stage 6s, that's not going to give you a lot. That kind of tells you there's going to be at least one stage 6 that's going to be huge. So we're going to get to that in a minute, but let's take a look at tire first and see how that fares in the grand scheme of it. Ooh, 1 point and low. This is not going to outperform transmission. Both the PP point and the Evo points are not that great. Not to say it won't do it, but it doesn't bode well when this number is not good. Now, you probably could reduce grip a little bit and get a few more points out of it since you're just increasing a ton of grip, but 1589 is not a huge change. Let's play with this. 1592. 9.358. That's pretty bad. This is very weak. You're starting off at 9.49. This is literally 1/10 and 400th difference. This is usually reserved for something as bad as intake. So on a car that's going to drop full 2 seconds, the transmission was a little disappointing, but this is really terrible. So tire just dropped you 1/10 out of 2 seconds potential here. So that's not boding well. Now, technically, it's not 2 seconds, it's 1.8 seconds because you're going from 9.49 to basically a 7.53. So it's not totally full 2 seconds, but nonetheless, that was not a very impressive change at all. So tire right now is falling at the bottom of the list as far as effective stage 6s. Well, we had three kind of mediocre one super bad one, so body must be big, right? Body traditionally has been big on many tier 5 cars. That looks good, right? That definitely promises something decent because both the PP and Evo points jumped quite a bit, and that's before we even tweaked it. So let's see if I can get something over 50. 51, 52. What about a little extra grip? No. What about a little bit less? 53. All right. 1653, 9.117. That's pretty good. That's again, this is a 3/10 plus drop. So you're going from 9.49 to 9.11. That's almost 4/10 drop. So this is a decent stage six for the car. So body is very decent, but it's not super, right? It's decent. 4/10 isn't bad at all, but it's not a huge number. Right now you're looking at 2/10, 2/10, 3/10, 1/10 and a half, and 4/10. So, it's not bad, you know. That's almost a second off if you put them all in. Maybe it's over a second off if you put them all in, and that'll drop you from a potentially 9.4 to 8.4. We'll test those combos coming up. Let's finish looking at the stage sixes. We only have two left. So what is the big boy as far as stage sixes? 704. Wow, look at that Evo jump. And don't forget, Nitrous is going to have a lot more duration. Therefore, it is going to get retuned and you're going to get even more points out of it. That is a very impressive amount of Evo change. I know there's an 8 in there somewhere. Come on, give it to me. Can it be more? Yes, it can. Can it be even more than that? Yes, it can. Oh my God, that's a lot of Evo change. And Evo Plus means higher number means faster car. What does it run with one stage 6? 8.796. That right there just dropped you from 9.49 to 8.79. That is a big drop for one stage 6. And that's going to be the big boy because you know intake's not going to outperform nitrous. If it does, it'll be the only car in the history of CSR where intake is better than everybody else. That's not going to happen. That doesn't mean the intake's going to be super terrible here. I have a feeling tire's going to be hard to beat for being a useless, not useless, but being a weak stage 6 in this case. I think intake's going to beat tire because they can't have something that's even worse than tire when you still have to deal with almost 2-second drop overall in time. Although we have a 7/10 guy right here, we got a full second, so we're pretty close already, right? Intake only got a little over a tenth to worry about. Can it beat tire though? Ooh, it's gonna be close because that number doesn't bode well. Very little Evo change, mediocre PP change. What is it? And I haven't tuned it. 9.3. Ooh, that's pretty bad. Do we remember exactly what tire did? I think tire was about a 1.14 drop from the initial time. So I'm looking here to see if I can outperform tire with a little bit of tuning. And 9.365 from a 9.49. Hmm. No, I think tire still beats it. So intake still comes in dead last. Tire coming a close second. So intake again is traditionally and historically and currently the worst stage 6 possible. And it's one of the most common stage 6s to get because I always seems to get intake every time. Every time I do a cup for stage 6, I get an intake. All right. Well, I shouldn't say every time. I say more often than not, I will get an intake. All right, let's go back to tire real quick because I forgot what tire did already. And I just want to make sure tire's better than a 9.365 when installed, which I think it is, but let's find out for sure. So tire round 2, let's take a look at tire. Hmm. Is it gonna beat? Well, it should. Oh, 9.369. Come on, tire. You could do better than this. I know there's more to it. Oh, there it is. Yes, it does beat intake by a hair. Yes, just a little bit right there. Okay, so equally bad. Now, I think I may be able to tweak it a little more here with the transmission. Come on, there it is. Okay, so yes, it does beat intake uh, by 200s. Not impressive. So intake still bottom, tire follows, and then you got kind of a few mediocre ones like trans and turbo, and then you have engine, body, nitrous being the big ones really for this car. That is rather disappointing. Um, so what's going to happen is if you don't have nitrous, and let's go back to our assumption that 8.3 will be the final target time. Let's start throwing some stage sixes on this car. Let's say if everything is fair, if you had 4 or 5 stage sixes, even if the weak ones, and full fusion, you should be able to beat the cup, right? That would only be fair. If you had 5 stage sixes and you couldn't beat the Golden Cup, it's probably too hard. But you know what? Tell that to the developers because we've had cups like that already. They were too hard and people couldn't finish them because they didn't get the right parts. It's not that they didn't want to finish them, they just couldn't. You can't get the parts, you can't finish the cup, and you're stuck. And you're frustrated, and you just spend a ton of bronze keys. And chances are you spend more bronze keys to get those fusions. And guess what? You still can't beat 8.5. So 5 stage sixes, all that fusion, all that effort, all those damn keys, and I still can't beat it. I hope it is a cup that's not going to be faster than 8.579. But guess what? I doubt it's going to be that slow. Because if you swap things around a bit, okay, we throw the 3 big boys on, let's see what the car runs. And I'm going to tell you it's probably going to be better than an 8.5 because you're starting off with one stage 6 already at 8.7. You got 2 other ones that drop 3 tenths and 4 tenths. That's 7 tenths. You should be close to an A flat or at least somewhere near it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take 5 of these guys off. Well, maybe not 5. I got to leave at least 3 on, right? So I'm going to take 4 of these guys off. But let's take a look at these two, the big boys here. Let's see what they get us just with 2 stage 6 first. Because sometimes stage 6s in combination can do more than a stage 6 by itself. It just somehow works out that way. Probably the fusions, the tuning, all the little additional factors that you have to think about. What do we got? Oh, this thing is jumping up in Evo points. Come on, Evo points. 8.456 with 2. Okay. Now, you know natural motion is unlikely to let you win this with just 2 stage 6s. So let's put one more in. We don't have to pick the strong one. I'll put turbo in. Let's see what it does. Well, even better, I'll put tire or intake in and see where it puts us. That'll push you in the 8.3s. I think it's going to be at least an 8.3, if not faster, simply because of that factor. Now, can it be easier? Absolutely. There's a good chance that knowing this car's fusions are so difficult to get, knowing it's a milestone but it's more recent, and that most people wouldn't have full parts, natural motion would be nice to us and do an 8.5 final time. Is it high likelihood? I don't know. Bottom line is, if there's no stress to complete the Golden Cup, then it's too easy, right? There's no challenge, and they don't make money. If there is a challenge that is too hard, they get a lot of complaints and negative backlash from players. That's not good either. 8.385 is achievable with 3 stage 6. So 8.4 would not be a totally outrageous time, and it can be as hard as 8.1 and still same fare because hey, guess what? If you had nitrous, you had body, if I throw in another stage 6 that is decent, like for example, engine, I may very well hit 8.1s. If it's anything under 8, then it's too hard. They really a Golden Cup shouldn't be that hard. That's starting to hit Evo Cup territory, and I think that's not really all that fair for just a simple Golden Cup. But if I throw in engine, let's take a look where we're at now. Now you have engine intake, okay, body and nitrous. That's all we got. Without clear fine tuning, boom, 8.153. So 8.15, 8.18, 8.2, any of these numbers would not seem outrageously hard, but don't forget this is full fusion. So technically it is outrageously hard because good luck getting full fusion with this car if you don't have any already. Even if you have some already, you're probably spending it already on the Regera Cup, which means let's hope you have a lot of gold because now you're going to have to swap them to the Agera from the Regera just to beat the Golden Cup again, over again, just to get those 5 gold keys or 10 gold keys, however many it is. I haven't even looked at it. My proposal to most players that don't have this car fully maxed is get as far as you can, but don't go crazy. Remember, Golden Cups are probably going to be coming every other season. You'll have plenty of chances to run them, and each time there's going to be a car. Now, how good is this car? It is one of the top 5 fastest car in the game, fully maxed. That's got to be good, right? A fast car is always good. Yes and no. 7.5 dyno, even if you run 7.49s with it, like the world record guys could, which I can't, uh, you're right dead smack in the losing zone of the 7.2 to 7.7 lobby. Yes, you can beat anybody who's slower than you, and you know who those guys are if you take a look at the world record tunes. There's information out there that'll tell you, okay, 7.4 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 car, but most of the cars in that lobby are going to be GTX, okay, and the TSI. So those cars run 7.2, 7.3s. They're all going to be faster than you. And your chances are not going to be great in live unless you swap. So for a swapper who's looking for an alternative because they're bored of the GTX, here it is. Okay, but then so has past 4 or 5 Golden Cup cars, the FXXK, the Hennessy Venom with purple stars no less, the Venom GT Spider with the purple stars, all would make just as much RP, if not a hair more, due to the purple stars. So why would you use this? What about if I wanted to use this just to beat people in live? Well, you could. It's not something that's impossible to use, but it is not an easy car to use either. It's a good car, but not the easiest to use. So let's take a look at some max Evo possibilities here. So 7.532 is the dyno. Okay, let's put that on since if it, hello. Okay, wait, no, I clicked too much. Oh, here we go. Assuming we're running this car like we would do in live, and assuming I can even get a perfect launch, and then I have to get the right shifts, this car should do okay, but getting any car maxed under dyno takes some skill and practice. I haven't driven this car much before. I certainly don't have a max one to play with. So let's see how badly I botch it. And then you'll have an idea what it starts off at, and you tell me how competitive that is. All right. Okay. Don't screw this up, Max. Ah, I screwed it up already. Okay. Bounce the needle on the first shift, which means it's going to run much slower than dyno. So, got to catch it. You got to have cat-like reflexes, which I don't have. And you got to be quick on hitting that button on time. So it's a bit of timing, a bit of reflexes. Notice that it does have very impressive 0 to 100 of 1.125, 309 miles per hour. No issues with Tempest. So it's a good Tempest car if you have enough parts, but getting it to run just right and beat dyno, not as easy. Cars that don't beat dyno in live start off competitive for a little bit because when you first go in live, your car's going to be lobbied against cars that are usually running about 2/10 slower. You win a few, boom, now you can't win because your car can't beat dyno and it basically doesn't have any margin of error. Doesn't mean you'll forever lose. You always win against somebody in the lobby. It just won't be that competitive. And that takes away some of the joy of driving a car like this in live if you can't. Oh, wait, I shouldn't have shifted out six. Duh. All right, so stay in six. That's another thing I should do. But basically, not a car that I would be looking forward to driving in live. So after expending all that resources, I'm not sure, what I would feel about this car not being able to be used much more. My goal is always to look forward to the future for a particular car. Do I plan to use it in live? Is it possible to tune to beat dyno? Is it good maxed out in max lobby for trading if that's all I want to do? Um, Trading, I think it's good. It's a high evo car. You'll get points. Actual live racing where you're just out to win, probably not as good. It's not an easy car to drive to win. Um, and it's certainly not an easy car to tune to win either. So it's your call how much effort you want to put into the cup. Now, some of us love certain cars in real life and we just want to have it in the game. It's almost like owning that 1/18 scale model of the car you love. And quite frankly, I would love to have this color Agera RS in my garage just because it looks great. It's a beautiful car. Loves Koenig. I just love Koenigsegg's. It's just a very cool car. Got really nice details as always with these cars in this game. And when you open it all up, it's quite nice to look at. So I do have the black one, like I said, so I'm not going to waste gold keys trying to pull a new one when I already got one. I don't have many actual parts for it, so I don't even know how far I'm going to get in the Golden Cup, but I'm not particularly stressed about it. If you look at the rewards, you got to think, I'm going to run this cup, okay? I'm going to spend all this effort on it, and the rewards are pretty bad. At this point, all this money up to race 19 will probably get you one stage 5 upgrade on this car because it's going to cost you 6 million to upgrade this car and add the fusions in. Might be a little over 6 million with the fusions. You're getting some gold, you're getting some keys. This is actually useful. Okay, that's one pole for prestige. You get some tokens, that's good. One stage 6, another 50 silver keys, that's all decent, and 5 gold keys. So you don't get a gold key pull back out of this race. You only get half of it out of this race. But you do get 2 silver key pulls, which in some sense might actually be better. Because it does help you a little bit for next season when you need to pull Letty's, not Letty's, but the LM, whatever that thing is called. It's ugly. Um, that's going to be the Prestige Cup car, so you're going to have to pull it. It's new. Everybody's going to have to go for it. A few people got lucky this season, but most of us didn't. So the cup will not give you back any of the resources you're going to waste trying to get it done. So know what you're getting into. Do not be a completionist unless you plan to spend money. Okay. If you have the car already maxed, already got the fusion, excellent. Free keys. Run the cup, get your keys. Okay. No problem at all. But if you don't have the stuff ready, you don't have the fusions, the stage sixes, whatever, think ahead. Really plan a little bit about how far you plan to get, but don't count on finishing this cup because you'll probably run out of resources before you get to the last few races. Knowing how these cups are set up, know that the first 20 races you may be able to do almost bone stock or at least up to stage 5 with no fusions. 20 races, I guarantee you, easy, easy, easy. Race 21 to 26 is where it starts to ramp up slowly but surely. And if you have enough fusions and some stage 5s, you probably get to race 24, 25, no problem. That's when you're going to hit a wall. From race 25 to race 30, it's going to jump a few tenths of time per race. Meaning, if you're not already hitting the nines, you're not going to get there. And then race 28, where you actually get your stage 6, may not be able to be reached without a stage 6. Keep that in mind. Pray for Nitrous. Nitrous is the big one here for this season, for this cup. I wish you the best of luck. I hope you guys get through the cup. I do have nitrous on my other car that I actually play with, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that my nitrous and body, and I believe I also have turbo. Those three stage sixes will get me through to the end. I don't think so, but there's hope that I'll get to race 28 and at least have a chance to finish. Fusions, well, look, I got some gold. I already spent about 8,000 gold in the last 2 seasons. What's another two? What's another 3,000? Whatever. But at some point, I'm going to run out because gold is not coming back as quick as they used to. So at this point, I'm burning it up for these events, but I'm going to start calculating much more carefully in the near future and slow down quite a bit on the way I spend it. Hey, leave comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know ultimately how you fare as well. I'd like to see how many people actually made it through. New players, know what you're getting into. Don't worry if you don't finish your Gold Cup. There's nothing attached to finishing one. Okay, you don't get any real benefits from finishing it other than saying, I finished it. Whoopee! I got 5 gold, 5 gold keys. I can't pull a gold key card. And when I do pull, it's probably a 3-star crap anyway. So don't get hung up on the idea that you have to finish. Hey, I hope you liked the video. I know I'm sometimes a little negative with some of the comments about what's coming, but look, I've seen so much complaining on Facebook. I just want to give you a heads up what you're getting into. Hey, if you like the video, please leave a like. Subscribe to the channel. I put these stage 6 videos up regularly whenever I see a car is coming that I have access to. And please um, let me know if you want to see something specific in the video that I didn't show so I can add that in future videos. Finally, as always, thank you for watching my videos. Have a good night.